Sum up time.
Right. Yeah.
Mind meld, where we both will say one random word, and then we will do our best every subsequent time to meet in the middle and land on the same word.
Yes.
Okay.
The fact that you use the word subsequent, I'm already worried we're on different wavelengths right now. But let's the whole point of this is to get on the same wavelength.
Okay.
So you may start as subsequent, but we'll end up at something.
Something Adeel understands.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Let's start with random 2 words. Okay.
Okay.
One, two, three.
Hyperbole.
Coffee, hyperbole. Nice. Well played. Well played.
Okay.
One, two, three.
Alert.
Crack.
Alert. Crack.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Paranoid.
Police. Paranoid.
We're kind of like in the same ballpark.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Prison.
Jail.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that counts.
No.
Okay, prison, jail.
1, 2, 3. Bars.
Yeah.
My guy. That was pretty smooth, dude.
Hear that, Drake? We got bars too.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You started with all the way fucking at hyperbole.
Yeah.
We ended up at bars.
Deliberate exaggeration for effect.
I know what hyperbole is, all right? Don't fucking test me right now.
Okay, one more?
All right, one more.
1, 2, 3. Handle. Curtain handle.
1, 2, 3.
Blinds.
Rod.
Blind rod. 1, 2, 3.
Glasses.
It's
totally glasses. Yeah, it's totally cane. That's obvious.
Cane
Fuck.
glasses.
You had the right choice. Cane glasses. I got it. 3, 2, 1. Daredevil.
Oh, damn. So I said, damn. Damn, okay. Daredevil.
Damn Daredevil. Damn. 3, 2.
Fuck
it. 1 second.
Are we going 1, 2, 3? We've been doing 1, 2, 3. So
okay.
Let's take it. 1, 2, 3.
Kingpin.
Hell, Kingpin.
1, 2, 3.
New
Devil.
York. New York Devil.
1, 2, 3. Yankees. That's New Jersey Devils, but you're right though. Still.
Oh, was it? What was it? New York. Oh,
New
shit.
York Rangers.
Yeah. Well, you know, still... indoor kid. Okay.
The confidence was amazing. Like you're like, good dude.
But there is a bridging factor.
What is it right now?
It was hockey and.
Did I say?
And no. You said Yankees.
Yankees and hockey.
Yeah.
Oh. 1, 2, 3. Sports.
Okay, we got it. We got
there. We had a little. We took the scenic route, but we still got there.
All right, let's do the show.
All right.
Everything is on silent.
Okay, welcome to No Rewrites, episode 18. Look at that.
18.
18. We're
legal in Quebec to drink.
Really? I don't know that.
I don't think I ever had it, but whatever semblance of Australian accent I had there is gone.
That's pretty quick. Welcome. We haven't done this in a couple weeks, so I feel a little rusty. Yeah, a little bit like an old Honda Civic. Stuck in a bunch of snow. Well, this is a good start. We are words so, and
maybe skip this episode preemptively.
Yeah, you know what? Do yourself a favor.
Take a break this week.
What did you watch recently, Jono?
What did I watch recently? I mean, I just finished the new season of True Detective with Jodie Foster, and
I hung out with someone yesterday, and he ripped it apart. He was like, I did not like it. The ending was so like the ending is apparently very like what's the word controversial. Like I feel like some people really like it, some people don't.
The ending was the best part.
Okay, so that's
I didn't like the whole thing. I'm just like, what's going on? And then I'm like, how are they gonna wrap this up? Because there's a like spooky supernatural shit. But the ending, I was like, fuck yeah,
they did it right. Do you think?
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Well, I just like the idea of what the ending was, and I'm like, yeah, that's what had to be done.
Again, I haven't seen it, but even just by his reaction, I could tell it's very like it's gonna be a very like thin line, like a line in between, and people will love it or people will think it's dumb or whatever.
Yeah, I just feel like I didn't like Jodie Foster's character. It's tough. I need a little bit of heart, and it was pretty bleak. So
like she was very two-dimensional, you mean? Or
no, she was very three-dimensional and complex, but she was unlikable.
Interesting.
Just did deplorable
things. You feel like that was a point, or like they just
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of it. Okay, yeah. You just meant like
I just don't vibe with that as hard as like Detroiters, you know. Which is just like all heart.
Yeah, there's like 2 different fucking shows. It's like
Well,
like not even 2 different shows, but like on the
one mind.
It's the opposite side of the spectrum, man. It's like saying I like,
but still, like that's what I prefer.
I
so like I'm not the foremost authority on what True Detective should be beyond that first season because that was amazing.
Oh my god, man, that one was so.
What did you watch? I watch way more, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what to talk about too. I'm like, there's 5 things I could talk about. I watched The Curse. I finished the season finale.
Yeah.
And what in the fuck, dude? It's the whole show. You're like, I don't know what's happening, and then the finale happens, and you're like, they stuck to that. They stuck to that formula of like it's just gonna keep pushing the boundaries of disbelief. It's gonna keep pushing like just original thought, man. It's just so unique. And again, it's also gonna be a show where I know people are gonna hate it, but if you like it, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's super cringe.
We started watching it, but yeah, Katie suffered a little more than I did from the cringe, so we had to pause it. But we're gonna go back to it. We just need to be in the right headspace. Yeah,
it's definitely, you got to sit down when you're like, okay, I'm down to be cringed right now.
I need my ab workout today. I'm gonna just flex my entire body while I watch Nathan Fielder and
he's like wincing the whole time. Just okay, well, that was a pretty abysmal start. So let's keep going.
If you're joining us for the first time, this is how it always goes. We pathetically vamp, and then we draw a prompt from a bowl, and we write the first draft of a short film script, and then we perform it for you.
And what do we do, Jono? What do we do with that script? We don't rewrite it.
We don't rewrite it. Hence the name. And it's kind of, we had to change we didn't have to change our name, but we decided to change our name to bolster that sort of ethos, because we do always have these inclinations. I call Adeel after an episode and I'm like, dude, we gotta
there's a plot hole on page 3.
We forgot this one huge fucking thing, man. We're gonna look like idiots. And we're just trying to fight that urge, because this is just about vomiting and having fun and improvising and...
coming up with something in one sitting. Like I can't think of anyone who writes an actual final draft of a script in one sitting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is all about like that first sitting, what it feels like. It's like, I like the idea of like people having a window into like that time in a writer's life, right? Where it's like you just sit down and you just like come up with the idea. You think of like the bad ideas, the good ideas. You kind of put it together and you have something that's like a Frankenstein of like, scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then like realistically or like naturally what would happen is then you would kind of go away, do something else for like a day or 2 or a week sometimes, then come back to it and then write that second draft.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not even enough. No. And you're like, you go again and you come back. Sometimes it takes endless. Like 9 drafts. Sometimes it takes 20. Sometimes it takes 3.
Sometimes you're rewriting in post. So
yeah, that's a good point.
It's a lot of shit, but this is just the spirit of getting shit moving, getting your brains
for Tracy. What's post? What's rewriting in post?
Post-production. Let's not use smartless vernacular.
For Tracy, well, for like, what is it like?
Hey, I'm Will Arnett, and
for a beer.
It's a loser.
For Sana, who's that's my sister's name. What's post?
Post means post-production,
like editing
and VFX and stuff. And a lot of times, you're playing around with the script in post-production. You're not just putting together what you shot because you discovered many new problems that you need to solve.
Well, it's also like if me and you have a scene and it's like we have dialogue back and forth. If I just edit one of your lines out or one of my lines out, it changes the whole.
It might change the whole thing, yeah.
And it changes like if maybe you wanted in the script, it's so on the nose of like Jono's has guilt because he knows something that Adeel doesn't. But if I take out that guilty expression shot of you, then it's like. Maybe that's the decision because I'm like, now it's going to hit harder because in Act 2 when you find out, then the audience is in ahead of us. You know what I mean? So it's like just rewriting like that in editing it can be really fun. And it's, there's like I don't know what the exact quote is, but it is like editing is rewriting.
Yeah. But anyway, all that stuff.
Yeah, sorry.
We don't do.
Yeah. Yeah, but we like talking about it.
It's true. Just trying to keep us out of the weeds.
We're going to do a spin-off podcast just talking about editing.
So all rewrites.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, so the first section that we're going to move to is called.
Oh yeah, let's go to it.
It's called
The Prompt.
Okay, we've got the Forsaken bowl of prompts. Adeel wrote a bunch. I wrote a bunch. We don't know how many are in there because we've been reusing them from the previous weeks. But there's a bunch, and the next moments will determine the next few hours of our lives.
I got something.
What'd you get?
The prompt. It's mine. The prompt for this episode It's kind of, it's not a genre. It's more like a style, a format
Okay.
of a script. It's bottle.
Bottle?
Yeah. You know what that means?
Yeah, like it takes place in one small location.
Exactly.
Maybe one that could fit on this table.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm always quite relieved when you say it's yours because I'm like, what? Like I kind of black out when I'm writing them, and then I'm like, what shit have I put in our tracks? For us
we were
to
just
trudge
saying
through?
before the recording, it's like the person who writes the prompt and the person who then like pulls it out is like two different people. Like,
Yeah.
when
it
I'm
is
writing
the
it,
same
I'm
person.
so witty and like, ooh, I'm gonna, or just like open-minded to any idea. And then when I pull it out, I'm like, why the fuck? Who thought of this?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the times I'm like, it's not gonna get picked, so who cares? Write something funny.
So
Okay, a bottle movie.
a bottle episode
episode
is an inexpensively produced episode of television.
Well, we got
of a
that
television
covered.
series
Check.
that is typically confined to one setting.
Okay.
Bottle film examples. I mean, let's do a little research. 12 Angry Men, never seen it, but that's usually the go-to. It's all in a, what is it called? Like that room where they decide.
The deliberation room.
Deliberation room.
127 hours.
I mean, does that count? Because it's like a lot of setup to get to that.
Green room. Moon.
Fair Moon, I guess, yeah, because it's all on the moon.
Reservoir Dogs doesn't really.
I guess, like, again, that's what it's like the
It's in that
127
weird
hours because it's
warehouse.
all in that warehouse except for the flashbacks.
Right.
Locke, that's the one all in one car. It's Tom Hardy. He's just driving, and the whole film is him driving and acting.
Oh, Pontypool, that Bruce McDonald movie, the Canadian movie about a radio station, and outside the radio station there's like a zombie apocalypse
Never heard of
happening.
it.
That's pretty cool.
Have you seen or heard of Buried with Ryan Reynolds?
No.
The whole film, he's in a coffin. Like, he wakes up and he's been like trapped in this coffin underground, and the whole film is like, that's it. And it's like he has a lighter on him so you can see his face, and he gets like called. So it's like, it's very like, yeah, just in a coffin. It's very interesting. It's like Locke, like the Tom Hardy film where it's just all in a car.
Okay. So do you want to stick to? Oh, I see the poster for Buried right there. Interesting. Do you want to stick to the actual definition of a bottle movie, or do you want to take that get and skew it? Like, should it be a movie about alcoholism or a movie about a man who makes tiny models of ships and puts them in bottles?
That's interesting. So basically,
is it about a message in a bottle?
So what you're proposing is take the prompt and just like just don't follow it.
Yes. Yes.
No, I get what you mean. So this was my compromise, because or we don't need a compromise. We just do the bottle episode. But do we want to do like how 127 hours or what's the other one? Reservoir Dogs, where it's like one location, but there's flashbacks? Like, because Reservoir Dogs is the warehouse 90% of it, but then they'll go into like each character.
We could have flashbacks as a parachute. You know, we could just pull the chute if we want to have flashbacks in there. Like,
So
I don't think we
allow
need to.
it.
Yeah, I think so.
How about this? Let's at least maybe try to,
Let's
we do
do
a
our
flashback,
best.
just one at most.
One flashback.
If we do it, because I would like to, as much as bottle episode is a bit like, oh, well, how are we gonna do this, or it's such a tight constraint, but it's like, that's the challenge today.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right.
Have you seen 12 Angry Men?
No, I have not.
I really want to.
Not in my sentient years. I saw it when I was young.
Oh, you
sure,
did? Okay,
but
but
like,
yeah.
I just have like fleeting still images of it.
Right. Yeah, there aren't that many.
Yeah, I mean, like when you think of episodes of TV and stuff too, like I'm trying to rack my brain about.
I mean, I know my favorite
There's like bottle episodes. What?
The best bottle episode I think is Community. Have you seen that? Have you watched Community?
I've watched a bunch of it, but
Have you seen the bottle one?
I don't know.
Because you know how they're so meta.
Yeah.
They're so meta, so they bring it up literally in the episode multiple times, like even before, like as it's being set up as a bottle episode, because they're like, we're not leaving here till we figure this out, and he's like, this is, and Abed's very meta because he loves watching TV, so he's like, this feels like a bottle episode, and then they get mad at him because he's like referencing it,
Right.
and then by the midpoint, they all accept that it's a bottle episode. So
Right.
it's just, there's a good reason to it, but also the meta-ness of it is just so fun to watch.
That's cool.
Bottle episodes. Anything come to your mind?
No, like it's just
Breaking
darkness
Bad?
in there. It's just darkness. Oh yeah, the Fly episode.
I didn't like it. Some people really like it. I didn't. It's just such a show where so much is happening that episode just was such a big, like, aggressive, like, foot on the brake pad, and just stopped the whole show's momentum. That's how I felt.
Yeah, you need those reprieves though, right? Like you need that release of tension. I know you want, like, obviously for a show like Breaking Bad, you want the story to be propelled forward, but it's kind of fun to have this.
No, I totally agree when it's done. And I just wish it was a bit more. I know the whole point sometimes is like again, it is apparently because TV shows need to save budget. So they're like, let's do one episode where it's just here, or creatively also like, let's just do one episode where we can just creatively just worry about one location or whatever, right? But it's just that show, every episode was once a week. It mattered so much. Like, you know, like you're like, oh, is Walter going to get caught? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And then we wait a whole week and this episode comes out and it's like, yeah, we're not going to push the story at all, basically. That was kind of a bummer.
We're going to go back in time to when they were young. Yeah. Also, Rear Window is listed as a bottle movie, which I guess makes sense because he's just stuck in his apartment.
I haven't seen it. Great
movie.
I know.
Really good.
I got to do a Hitchcock run. I haven't done any. I've only seen Vertigo.
He's a bit of a piece of shit, but
oh, really?
He made some good movies.
I've only seen Vertigo, but Rear Window, Psycho I want to watch. There's a couple of his big ones.
Okay. Well, I don't... I would like Knives Out be a bottle movie? Because like I see Clue is one here, and like it's all kind of in that fucking mansion.
Knives Out, with along with like, I mean, if you consider these other film references like 127 Hours, then yeah, because Knives Out, especially the second one, after the first act, the rest of it is all on that island.
Right.
So I guess, but that to me is kind of cheating a bit for our sake. Like, you know, like, oh, here's like this build up and then they get to an island. It's like, it should start on the island. You know what I mean? Okay. I just saw another episode that's fucking iconic for TV in the past couple of years. That was bottle episode. Teddy Perkins, the Atlanta episode. Where
was that the one?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. That literally was like, I gotta ask about that Atlanta episode. That is fucking amazing. Where Lakeith Stanfield goes into the Michael Jackson
and
mansion
Gambino's playing. Don Glover's playing Teddy Perkins, which is like they've pretty much admitted that it is like a version of Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Well, that was very clear. They admitted that by.
Yeah. But you know, that could have been like, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like that would have been annoying if they were like, you know,
who's that?
Yeah. Well,
who's that?
You're doing the voice right now while you're asking who it is.
Okay. Well, do you want to move on to the next section and we'll start churning out ideas?
Yeah, I think we're ready for that.
All right, let's do it.
All righty.
This is the blue sky part.
Have we done any of our scripts out of the other 17 that are kind of bottle episodes? Like, I'm surprised the fact that we always try to make it simple for our lives. We haven't done a bottle one yet.
No.
Right? Like, I guess the last one, the island one,
Ish.
the lure, whatever, kind of because it's an island. Yeah.
Ish. And it took place mostly in that
island in the house.
In the house.
That's kind of, so then that's the thing. I don't want to make I don't want to cheat and do that. And sorry, by cheat I mean is like, let's go real bottle, right? Like, let's make it one location, like not an island as big as
tiny ship, like many people on a tiny ship inside a bottle. Yeah, like what's an interesting
like
location?
Like a ship or a spaceship, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or like a hotel room.
Yes.
Or
so this is exactly what I mean. Like hotel room, yes. Hotel, no.
Yes.
Too big, right?
Yes. So like specific because
house, yes. I'm gonna give you a comparison. House, yes. Street, no. Spaceship, yes. Galaxy, no. There you go. I think we got it.
So okay, when you said
coffee mug, yes.
Guatemalan coffee bean field, no.
This guy gets it.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you one. Let's see if you get it. Subway, yes.
Jared, no.
That's pretty good. I was
we
not
don't
going
like
there.
him.
Subway station, no. But also Jared, no.
Jared, no. When I said hotel room, and you kind of were like, yes. I just got this image in my head. And I get what does it say about me? But
or just death,
like
murder.
Yeah, well, people like a guy in a hotel room and he opens up the windows in the morning and people are just like falling out the window, like just jumping out the window, and he just sees people falling out the window and there's weird shit happening, and then he's got to figure it out. Which reminded me of that music video, the Radiohead music video, Just.
Sorry about that.
Blue Sky 250, Adeel sneezes. Okay.
Make a beat out of that.
Yeah. So there's gonna be a sneeze in there, but the video just by Radiohead. It's this guy lying on a sidewalk. It's like a silent thing and like subtitles. And there's a guy laying on the sidewalk, and people are like, "Why are you laying on the sidewalk?" And the guy's just like, "No, leave me alone. Whatever." And then people just keep piling on and asking him. And then during the bridge, where it's at a big like solo part, it like the subtitles stop, and he's like, "Okay, I'll tell you." And then the subtitles stop, and he like says something, and like his mouth is moving, and like people's faces are doing shit. And then when the bridge is over, it just cuts to this overhead shot, and then everyone else is laying on the sidewalk.
So like he told them what
it was, and then they're all laying on the sidewalk. So like I always fucking love that, because it's just like theater of the mind. Like, what the hell could he be talking about? But it's still satisfying, and like it pays off. There could be some kind of weird mystery in a hotel room, but also like genre wise, like, do we want to make it funny? Is it a drama?
Because here's right off the bat, we have three. Let's say hotel room, for example, for sure we go with. There's three ways to go about it. I like what you're going with, the people falling out, because I don't know what that is, but that's for me and you to kind of have a flashlight and figure it out. Mm-hmm. Like, just see in front of us, like the fact that all we know right now is that people are falling out of the rooms or out of the sky, or whatever, and then we have to figure out ourselves as writers, like, what the fuck that is. Yeah, it's cool. Second idea I had, which was way simpler, was like, starts with a dead body and a man standing over it in a hotel room, and then we figured that out, like, why that happened. Like, we just start with enough information. Like, we kind of challenge ourselves with, like, maybe there's a woman crying in the corner, a guy standing over a dead body, there's like blood, and it's like, okay, what happened? And we kind of maybe play back in time in that hotel room, or we play forward and we never talk about what happened. So that's another option. The third option is, I don't know why this came to my mind, maybe because you said Radiohead, a film crew making a music video in a hotel room and all the things that go wrong in it.
Okay, that could be cool.
So there's three options.
We like films about films. But sidebar, I forgot about an amazing bottle movie I saw at Slam Dance called Fishing.
Yeah,
it's like all direct to camera. It's played as a oneer. It's like a girl doing like basically a vlog, and she's been in her room for 3 days. And I can't really go too deep with what happens in there because I would spoil it. But if anyone has,
is it all one camera vlog style?
Yeah, it's all just that. It's like all
found footage vibes.
Yeah, basically that. Sweet. Yeah, it is so fucking good, and the way they thread the needle is so slick and elegant. Like, you don't even realize like that you're very, like, it starts off kind of lighthearted and fun, and then it gets very dark, but like you don't even realize that you're being pulled on that journey until the turn happens, and you're just like, oh my god, of course, like everything changes meaning at a certain point, and the ending, oh man, it's so fucking good. Sorry, it's out of the UK.
It's a short?
It's a short, called Fishing. So if anyone sees it around, definitely take the time to watch it, because it's phenomenal, and the creators are very nice people. Okay. I don't like the idea of the dead body being in the room. I just feel like that's just too simple.
It's Hitchcocky, like, to the point.
Crazy idea, guys. Someone died. People die every fucking day.
That's your impression of our viewers?
That's my impression of how I think our viewers think of us.
Yeah. These fucking dipshits again.
Dipshits. Oh, might as well listen to an hour and a half of these.
It's like, why are you listening, dude? Why are you like...
Just stop listening. Todd, Jesus.
That's Todd.
Yeah, so I like the hotel room thing. I like this music video thing. But like, what if they're making a music video and some stuff happens and then people start falling out the window?
That's cool, because now you're giving them a reason. Because that was my concern. Not my concern, but my thing was like, okay, the idea you pitched was cool, but what are they doing inside the room? Is it just a guy drinking and people are falling, or is it they're shooting a music video and then they see this happening? So they have it. We could kind of write it as like a found footage thing, because they already have a camera, and that's an idea. And it's like they're seeing people fall and they're like, what the fuck? And you can have a little bit of comedy, because the artist is like, dude, did you guys how'd you guys afford this? It's like, no, this is not part of the video. You can have this like one like very two-dimensional kind of easy character who just doesn't understand what's happening, the capacity of all this. Again, I don't know where this goes, but that excites me that I don't know where it goes.
Yeah. Where could it go? Like, what could cause people to, and like, would there be maybe a kind of supernatural element to it where like they get locked in the room, like they can't leave the room for some reason, or
Well, I don't know if this is the right word, but would the falling out of the sky be a MacGuffin where you don't explain it?
it could be, but I think there would have to be some, because like that Radiohead video, like there just has to be some satisfying, like, oh, that was cool. Like, I think a MacGuffin would just be, and I might eat these words later, but it might be a bit lazy, just because like it would be cool to think of something that justifies it, you know, not just like people fell out the window and we don't know why, because then, but. You know, maybe
Well,
we'll
the reason
arrive there.
I would, I totally agree. I don't want to come off lazy at all. In this script, I guess it's like the only way I'd be down to do that is if that the film becomes about the film crew and like their their characters. So it's like that's why we're more like, how would people react if that happened? So it becomes a study on like, what does this film crew do? How do they turn on each other for some reason because they're like scared, or do they help each other, or do they act selfishly and keep shooting the music video? Like, I'd want to figure out what their dynamic would be. Like, what would me and you do if we couldn't leave the room and people were falling out, and like make it more about that, because then in real life me and you might never find out why they're falling out of the sky, so we're looking at their point of view, you know. But not to say we do that MacGuffin idea. Also for my sister Sana, what's MacGuffin?
A MacGuffin is something that's just deliberately misleading just for the sake of it. It doesn't ever pay off, right? Is that correct?
Is it misleading though? Because isn't the briefcase in
or
Pulp
it's like
Fiction,
meant to add more.
It's meant to just
it's
meant to just move the story along. I think like because like in Pulp Fiction, it's like the briefcase is why they're there, but it doesn't, like, you don't know what it is. Let me just search it up. Might as well. I search it up.
I'll just start talking.
McMuffin.
You ask me a question, I just start talking. And McMuffin is a breakfast thing at McDonald's.
An element. So a MacGuffin is an element in a work of fiction that drives a plot and motivates the characters despite being relatively insignificant to the story.
Okay.
That's super interesting.
Right.
So, for example, and if this was a MacGuffin,
I think
it's
I got it wrong last time too.
It's
just consistent.
Now you're going to overthink that, aren't you?
Let's re-record
that episode. If no re-record, that'd be a cool name. What was I saying? Yeah, if a MacGuffin. So if they're falling out of the sky as a MacGuffin, that would mean that it would move the story along, because that's why we're watching this film. Because like, what's gonna happen? We can't leave this room or whatever the fuck. But you really never know what it is.
You know what could be cool? Because like I feel like we touched on this in that PA episode where like the guy had to go get the camera even though his buddy may have died in a car accident or whatever. If the director, like, the whole crew wants to stop because shit's fucked up, but this director's like pig-headed and just like, no, this is my thing. Like if we call it now, like all this money's gone, we don't know what's going on out there or whatever. And it becomes this sort of psychological battle between all these guys. But then at the end, the director just like something comes over him and he just jumps out the window.
What's funny is, yeah, even though me and you are directors, we always want the director to be the villain.
Yeah, well,
we really enjoy that. We really like, it shows how we see ourselves.
Yeah. I am my biggest supervillain.
I do like that. And it's like the MacGuffin of it all is like, you don't know why, but then the director does it. So you're like, oh, they all must have been it makes you think like, what are the other stories of the other people that jumped out? Maybe, you know what I mean? But also I was going to say in terms of time constraint, to put a time constraint on the story of why he's so pressured. Maybe it's not a studio thing, because again, why are they in a hotel room? What if it's like a 24-hour movie challenge?
Oh yeah,
you know those like,
yeah, I've done a bunch of those.
By midnight we have to do those, and it's like 10 p.m. and they're like, the people are falling out of the sky, dude. I don't give a fuck. We have to film this and edit it and all this, and so he's like really trying to keep them together, and maybe he finds ways successfully to keep them together, where it's like they kind of do get distracted and they close the curtains, but then when they start editing it again, they start hearing shrieks more, and they're like, you know, so it's, yeah, maybe there's a psychological kind of aspect to it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We do love films about films, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But is there, what else? What other threads does that produce?
And within this, like the pitch we're doing right now?
Just in like, to get away from, or do you want to just keep harping on this seed? Because I was like, what else is like, is there another room? Is there another fully
brand new idea?
New idea. That,
okay. Yeah.
Or the idea that there's a time limit on something and everyone's locked in a place and something weird happens outside.
An escape room.
You
could, because that would be, you could even do a comedy where, oh, you know what's a good idea too? Fucking toot my own horn, don't I? You know what's a great idea I just thought of? is what if it's an escape room, but it's a couple in an escape room, and it's like we use it as like a formula for therapy. It's like a therapist.
I was
office.
just thinking that like it's the end thing. Yeah.
It's the what thing?
It's like the end, like they get out of the room and then there's a therapist there and it's like, you guys did really great.
Yeah. But you don't know as a viewer, you're like, what the fuck? And maybe like, obviously like that's good, but then it's like, why would that even be a thing? So then the escape room itself for the audience, obviously like they don't know the ending. So it's like, you have to thread it in there where the clues and shit are very like relationship symbolisms.
Yeah. That feels like there's like for a first draft, those clues would be pretty like,
oh yeah,
they'd be pretty frail.
We would just be like, well, then this
like,
happens.
Oh yeah.
Well, what if it's an escape room and it's not therapy, but it's like again, I'm thinking more like this could be a TV show episode, like with characters that are already established a bit, and it's like they're in an escape room and it's like two couples, and they start having a bit more of like a competition, so we make it a bit more of a comedy where it's like and then they start being like, we have to beat this other couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I like the hotel room better still, but
yeah, this is definitely
cool.
a very different
Cool.
approach. Yeah,
That's kind of cool. I definitely like the idea of an escape room. It's just like the actual knowing what goes into an escape room and how they operate. Like there's a lot of like thinking and explaining and
fair. I mean, again, both ideas for the first drafts, because even the movie one, like, or the hotel room one, the first draft, I know we're like thinking it'll be too simple, but for the escape room, it'll become more about the dialogue between the two couples. Like imagine cutting to one side of the room and they're like, they're definitely like outsmarting us, and then cut to the other couple and they're like pissed. And this is very like, I know, like what's the word, like simple right now, but then it would have to become less about the escape room and it's more about their relationship. It's like Homer and Mr. Burns in like the snow avalanche cottage episode or whatever, where it becomes about like two sides picking a side, or it's like teaming up, or it's like maybe it's a family and it's father and son versus mother and daughter, or vice versa, where they're like, you know, just again throwing ideas.
Yeah.
You want to go back to the hotel room?
I do. There was just something that ran through my head, but it kept going and I didn't catch it. Instead of doing a music video, is it like a casting session, or like, I don't know, like, is there something a little more reeled in, or like, I don't know.
Well, that's very interesting. Like the whole thing takes place in a casting room. That's super interesting.
Because then you have like a smaller pot of people. Like you have the director, you'll have a producer, you'll have the session runner, the camera person, and then the auditioner. And like,
oh my God, this is kind of very like,
because you could start off. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say this is a bit more on the cringe factor, but it's like, does the whole film move towards? Can you stop writing blue sky?
This is the blue sky section.
Blue sky section. What if the whole thing is like working towards an ending where the writer or the director they're there, and the whole point of this is like through the casting process they realize it's not a good idea, the film, and they shut it down. This is very like insecure. You know that? Imagine being in a casting room and they're like, actors are coming in and doing your scenes, and it's like it's not working, and then it's like, it's a script, and it's like this very kind of just melt down and self-deprecation kind of thing.
Could it lead to like a bad joke where like you don't really know what the movie's about? The only context clues you get are the audition and then this discussion around that, and then the end it'd be like, maybe we shouldn't make a movie about blah 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 blah, and it's like wah, wah, like there's like a funny joke that
like a blow line,
a nice blow line to pay off like what they're doing. That's kind of more interesting, because like a lot of times we're like doing murder stuff and people die and they fall from the sky, which I like, which we could pillage for another episode.
100%.
The audition thing is kind of cool, where the movie is dismantled by the process of auditioning.
So can I put another pitch in that pitch? Is it about that, or is the bottle episode, because going more to the bottle episode thing, exactly what you said, is about a casting and whatever. But it's like they just finished their last audition, like the last person went, and now it's about deciding which actor they pick. And there's like, like it's either this actor or this actor. And because that bottle episodes usually are like people like on different sides, and that's why they're in this place and they're like trying to get out of this room. That's very 12 Angry Men, but it's like casting. You know what I mean? It's like trying to decide who the right actor is for the part.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Or that could be part of it. But like that's the thing, right? Like in a film or an episode like this, every character has to have a motive. So one of the characters' motive is like trying to really fucking lobby this one actor, and then you can find out it's like nepotism, you know? The guy, the producer, or the session runner, or whatever. He's like, yo, this guy was really good, and he keeps pushing that guy, and then one guy's pushing someone else, and the writer is more pushing the fact that like this is just bad. You know what I mean? So each person has their own motivation of why they're stuck in this room. Because why are they stuck here? If it's just is it just auditions that people keep coming in?
Yeah, I was thinking it could be that, or I was thinking more like getting locked in there or something. Oh yeah, because I guess the discussion wouldn't take place with the actor in there, but I was just picturing everyone kind of stuck in there, you know?
You could do, this is, I mean, so yeah.
I do like the idea of it becoming, like we have a couple, maybe it's just one audition or two, or there's two people, because we have to have someone to compare they have to be pitted against
like
each
they're
other.
in the room or they're being talked about?
They're being talked about, but we have to see two auditions
back to back,
contextualize these things, and then, or we just do like a cross-cutty montage thing where like,
well, that's where your flashback happens, where then you cut to the audition,
so like
and you cut
there
back.
could just be the beginning flashbacky cross-cutting montage thing between the two people who are auditioning. Like a person says like, you know, all my life I was really clumsy, and then it cuts to the next person, and that means I was at the hospital a lot, you know, and like just finishing each other's sentences and stringing the dialogue along together that way. And then they're styling it different or whatever. And then the rest is that discussion. I guess it'll just be a pretty dialogue heavy thing, but that's fine. Like maybe we'll even be.
I don't think that's a problem. Like,
no,
like you said,
so
like I'm really liking this idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess the decision is, because just one thing to also decide, like before we go further, I think most of the pieces are falling into place by itself, like what you're saying, like the actors are deciding, the blah blah blah. It's like, are they in this room by their own volition? Is that the word?
Yes.
Yeah. Or are they being stuck? Because if they're being stuck, what's interesting, I'm just gonna pitch both ideas. Maybe one actor is stuck with them because it's like they're about to leave and the building goes on a lockdown or whatever. Oh. And now the actor's stuck there. Now they have to decide. But they have to email the producer the answer, and the actor's like right there, and
they have to.
But then it's like, what does that really give us except for some awkward jokes?
Awkward jokes are great. But
I know,
like, because like just the skin crawly, like it's one thing to like, you know, we've both been in casting sessions, and the things that are said about people, not necessarily by me or anyone that I know, but like just the way people discuss people as like just these like fucking products, or just like a look or whatever, like it gets pretty deplorable.
So to be the devil's advocate to that point, like the pitch I just made, my worry about that though is that's what the whole driving factor, or like the constant joke factor becomes, because then it's like, how do you move past that? Like say you're in the room and we're talking about you, and that's the script. And then after a few of those awkward jokes, what's the rest of it? It's like, now, okay, well, you're just going to sit here and watch us do this. Or does it become about there where the actor's like, well, you can't talk to people about people like this. And then they have an argument. Like, what else is my worry is, does it become just a loop there, as opposed to if it's like the actors aren't there, but it is still disgusting that they're talking about people in a fucked up way.
I think that's more in line.
More legs there, right?
Yeah. Without getting into like a horror element outside the room. But maybe like, they
have to submit a thing. Like I think
they have to submit a thing, or like someone's like, I'm locking you into this room until you come out with a decision. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean 100%. But again, you know, like technically bought up, so you don't have to be locked in. Like that's what I mean by your own volition, because it's like, guys, the studio needs our answer by 3 p.m. It's 2:45.
Yeah. And
then it's like the rest of the 15 minutes of this film, or whatever it is like them having. It's like I said, I think it's I could see this being a fucking short film at a festival, because it's like this reimagining of 12 Angry Men, but in a really toxic film industry.
Casting directors.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I like that a lot. And I like how it's not horror related. It's horror in the way that real life is a horror.
It's more psychological maybe, yeah, sure. You know, if you want to fuck with that, like how they talk and how they manipulate, and you can definitely have sides brewing, you know?
So what kind of movie would they want to make, do you think? Like, what's a bad idea for a movie?
Well, that kind of, it's my question. I guess it goes hand in
MacGuffin.
Fair. That could totally be the MacGuffin, actually. For the sake of just using MacGuffin in this, I could totally be it. But my question is, what is the deciding, like, what really matters about this more than what the movie's going to be about is, like, why are there two sides? Why are there two actors? Is it race? Is it nepotism? Is it like one guy's like really trying to push for his son, brother-in-law?
Yeah,
But we don't know this until like second half of the film, you know, where it's like, oh fuck, that's why he likes this actor, you know?
Yeah.
Is it sex appeal? One guy's like, yeah, but he looks so good, or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. Is it like objectifying in that sense? Like what's our?
Yeah, or did like one of them do something fucked up and is like, I need, like, I'll give you this role if you don't tell anybody that I did this fucked up
that's
thing.
really good. I was gonna even say, is one of them just like say like one option is obviously clear, like the better option, but he slept with his wife, or like he in a past life was best friends with, you know, like there's like a weird backstory to this relationship, but like it's like I don't want this guy, but it's like the clear option.
Yeah.
You know, like you can have so many backstories in this.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that.
Like the director wants the good option and the producer's like, no, we have to.
They have their personal vendettas.
Let's think about this. Yeah.
So
what could that thing be though?
Yeah. Well, who are the characters? Let's go over. So director, obviously. You have what's the person that reads the lines? Like the casting? No, that's not the casting director.
They're just like the session runner or something.
Session runner, and then you have a casting director.
Casting director isn't always in the room.
Well, I'm just for me, I'm thinking, is it good to have that character, but maybe not, just to have an extra voice.
There's like the person, there's like a person who reads and like brings people in, reads the lines off camera, and then there's also like a camera person just sitting there.
I like that because that person could be a one-liners.
Yeah, that was just gonna say, they could just be like,
he does not give a fuck.
and writer, producer, or just producer. The writer, the director should be a writer as well, because that gives them more.
But that does make it interesting if you have a co-writer there, just again for voices, right?
True.
And again, we could eliminate some of these characters if we get to writing where it's too convoluted. But having a writer, a producer, a director, session runner, casting director, camera person. Yeah, I think casting director is the one that I would maybe kick out.
Mm-hmm.
And even number would make it more interesting though, right? Because then it's like it could be three always or whatever. So maybe keep it 6 people. Right?
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of characters for like.
Okay, how about this?
But let's leave them on the table. Let's leave them all on the table for right now. But
well, if we make it an odd number, like 5 people, like so we take the casting director
it could
out.
just be a waffler.
Well, the camera person.
Well, the camera person.
they're kind of like, we have to convince him now, and they both think, because they have to make it a short, right? We can't make it too long, so it's like you find out the issues in the beginning, and then it's like now we got to pitch it to this guy.
Where the deal breaker is going to be this impartial party.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tom? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, what's
I know the name of this short, by the way, already.
What's it called?
The Audition.
The Audition. Wow.
The Decision.
Wow.
The Casting.
Castaway. Like Castaway.
Nah, that's pretty good.
Okay, so let's think about what the movie's going to be about that they want to make. Is it like,
I personally am leaning towards MacGuffining it.
Get on your mic.
Sorry. I personally am like leaning towards MacGuffining it, just because it's more about like what's the fucking relationship, like, you know. And then the blow line, naturally we can think of like what you said, like we can have one line at the end being like, maybe we should make this remake of Titanic or whatever. I don't know.
Right. This, yeah. Okay.
Maybe there isn't a need for an R-rated Blue's Clues film.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like what the fuck were they making?
But then let's think about then what's going to inform the dialogue that the actors are going to say, for example, like, or at least a genre of a movie. Is it a rom-com? Is it like a biopic? Is it
coming of age?
Coming of age? Is it insert other genre here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then so maybe there's got to be like, we should probably have a monologue.
I don't know why I'm all of a sudden paranoid, but we're recording, right?
Oh no, we haven't been recording at all. This is just for you and me. Yes, we are. Yeah, because I feel like we need to inform what the actors are doing in that first little montage.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like make it more difficult, but I'm like, do we need that though? Because what if it goes with like literally one line? Okay, that was great, and then the movie's about the discussion.
Yeah,
you know, like, do we?
I just feel like there needs to be some stuff that the audience can connect to what happened before. You know what I mean? When they're talking about shit. So it's just not always about talking about people who aren't on camera, you know? There needs to be some kind of context rather than discussing someone who doesn't exist.
That's where I'm like, is it fun to start in the middle of it all? Because it can be very interesting. It's like Reservoir Dogs, starting with like the fucking diner, then cutting to like someone's been shot. So it's like, do we start with like the middle of the discussion and someone just left the room, like the last actor, and then we cut to flashbacks just to kind of really kind of pad the film to make it more well-rounded instead of just arguing. It's like, well, then he should have done this, and then it cuts to like, or even like the blackmailing, like you said, maybe he knows something, so we cut to that because it's more about that. Like you should cut to what he saw him do or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Or that could be kind of cool. Like, yeah, going to like a CSA thing, like when they said this, and then it goes back to the audition.
Could give us a new formula to make this short too, right? Instead of just like linear, it's like, well, I hated it when he did this, and it cuts to him doing it.
But maybe then it could start with the two actors, like cross-cutting again, and they're like,
right.
My name is
still get a bit of it,
Joni Simpson. These are my hands. My name is blah, 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 5'5", double vaxxed. These are my hands. And then it's like title card.
Exactly.
And then they put the two head sheets on the
head sheets,
run
totally.
sheets on the table.
No, that's a great, I love that. You introduce them, title card, and then the headshots on the table.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, that's cool. I just like, well, you know, we've only been talking about it for 25 minutes, but I'd like to just get a little more of an engine somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
we're cooking. We have an opening now, I think.
Yeah. And like the first line from the director could just be like, it's her, no brainer, you know?
Yeah.
Or him, no brainer. Whatever we decide. It might be cool to do it as dudes because then we don't fall into the trap of like, oh, they banged, or like it's more of like dudes doing shitty stuff.
Yeah,
to each other.
Yeah, because I feel like because I don't want to. I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it gets us out of the like
writing horrible shit,
and just playing on nasty stuff. It can still be nasty, but yeah, whatever. It'll pull out some obvious bullshit.
So let's play it out. First thing, it's obviously him, and the writer's like, really? It's like, yeah, it's got, dude, it's clear as day it's him. And he puts like, and maybe this we're gonna have fun with it is like they have like chips, and he puts his chip on the headshot, so you can always have like a symbolic way to show who's voting for who kind of
right
thing. He puts his like black, everyone has like colored chips, he has like a black chip, he puts it on, and then it's like the writer's like, I don't know, and then the producer's like, well, you know where my vote's going, and they all roll their eyes because maybe they've talked about it off camera already, and he puts his over the other person. And the director's like, well, good thing you don't have final say. This is a democracy. Like right away, you're setting up the platform where it's like, we're going to vote on this, and it actually matters.
The call sheet's not alphabetical.
Huh?
Like the director's at the top of the call sheet.
Yeah.
I have a friend who would say that all the time. The call sheet's not alphabetical.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. There's a hierarchy here. And that would be interesting if the producer had the opposing view, trying to pick the worst actor because they got financing somehow. Like the only way to get financing was like, yeah, this magnate is gonna give us all this money, but we have to cast his nephew as the lead or whatever, like that nepotism thing, or like.
So that's the producer's angle, which is great.
Yeah.
Or nepotism, exactly. Like it's his wife, and it's maybe because if it's financing my own, I like that a lot. But it's like then he's kind of stupid to even have the democracy option. That's too risky. So what if it's like it's his like wife's cousin? You know what I mean? He's like doing it to save his marriage or something. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Yeah.
And then I like that
or like the idea that without this guy being cast, there is no film.
Yeah, because that is a lot of stakes then, right?
Yeah. But like not revealing that till a little bit later. And then, they asked the camera person, like, what do you think? And they're like, maybe you shouldn't make a movie about.
Yeah, he's the final punchline.
Yeah, and they're just like, huh.
That's funny. Because the producer can put his chip on the other one, and exactly, that's his backstory to find out. Then the casting director's like, he goes with the director. He agrees, maybe. He's like, well, yeah, he's a better actor, whatever. Or session runner, maybe, right? Says that. The writer is the first one who's like, is he gonna, go with the producer or the winning vote right now? And he's the one that they're trying to convince first. So that it takes time to get to the camera guy, right? So then it's like the writer's like, I don't know, and you find out that the writer has maybe some backstory with this guy that's obviously a good choice. You know what I mean? So the producer exposes himself or whatever, or the writer, the writer then goes to the bad choice and you find out it's because of some backstory of like this guy hurting him in the past, or he knows something about the writer, like blackmailing, right? And when they're tied, that's when the producer's secret comes out, being like, guys, we can't make the movie without him. This guy, you know what I mean? Like we kind of add these layers throughout it, but kind of just slow burn it.
Does the producer have some dirt on the writer? Like when
so it's not
the
even
writer's
the actor.
disgusting?
I thought the actor had dirt on the writer. That's why he's like, I don't want to hire this one.
Well, I feel like the actor can't have shit on multiple people, like that nepotism relationship with the thing. It's just like he's some chud from fucking, it was no business being on camera. And the producer's just like pushing. And then the writer's like, no, this other actor is clearly the better actor. And the producer like whips out a phone and it's just like, and it goes to him like, whoop. And it's like, I will fucking destroy you. Like, join my side.
It'd be more fun. Sorry, it'd be more like fun though. I like all that, but instead of the phone, like the phone thing of like bringing that out, what if it's like, the writer is from the beginning of it all is in a conundrum because like the director I think vote for the obvious choice, and the writer you can feel like wants to vote for the obvious choice, but he's like, and the producer's looking at him. So we don't do it on camera right away with the phone. The writer already off camera has been threatened. So then maybe it comes out later.
Yeah, it's like the producer's like,
what do you think?
Yeah, what do you think? And like they said, if you agree with me, you get a writing credit. If you don't, you get a story by credit.
That's like, yeah.
Just like, fuck.
Or he's like, I'll release your first short film. He's like, no, you can't. And it's like,
I will make
he did
that
some
link
racist
public.
first film. Or like, it's very like, just like very off-putting film. And it's like, he thought he hit it. Like he's made it private on YouTube and all this shit. And the producer's like, I know about it and I have the file. And he's like, oh, please don't release it. So it's all like this blackmail of, so that is good because it's like a chain of like reaction where the producer wants to hire the actor for his other needs.
Yeah.
And then he blackmails the writer. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. And somehow the director's becoming less of the villain now, which is nice.
Whoa.
And then they all like,
and at the end he kills everyone.
I love this idea. People fall out of the window
and the director shoots them all.
and they get locked in the room. And then they get sucked into the ground by a mushroom demon.
We just make a medley film.
I like the idea of the poker chips.
Yeah.
For visual balance, and then when it cuts to the tiebreaker, they're like, okay, well, what do you think, camera person? And they're like, I don't think you should make a movie about fucking Crash Bandicoot.
But before, I think again, just to maybe we don't need this part, but maybe to stretch out to see if we feel like it's too short or too quick. It's like when it's tied for a bit. Then they cut to flashbacks being like, well, look at that. Well, look, he didn't know how to pronounce the word. And it cuts to like a funny, like the guy who's not the obvious choice, butchering the dialogue or just wrong inflections. And then he goes, the other guy did so good. And he cut to it. And they almost forget about the camera guy. Like maybe even as we write it, it's very like you forget about it.
Yeah.
And they go, wait a minute. Like we have to vote. Well, we need a tiebreaker. And then they look over and he's on his phone. He's not even listening to them. It's like just on his phone. Like, wait. Yeah. Exactly. And then they're like, then they notice him. Like they're so like into this argument, they forget that he's even there.
Yeah.
The camera operator.
And like most of those people, God bless their soul, for doing that every single fucking day of their lives, like running session after session, sitting behind the camera, being like, okay, slate, and then having to deal with every fucking personality type.
Yeah.
I mean, all the ones that I've met are so lovely and great people, but like you can tell they're a little dead inside just from like, it's like a serving job basically, but like a serving job where you're just constantly exposed, but it's like that times 1,000 because it's not only like every different person, they all have a big enough ego to be like, I'm gonna be a star and I'm gonna come in here and do this thing and I'm gonna say something funny right away, and the guy's just like, hands, say your name, just say your name. So like cutting to that camera person just being so dead inside and like just over it, and all they want to do is go home, but they can't go home until they make the decision. There's a lot of like,
and that's such a good setup to like him playing a game. They forgot about him. He's like dead inside. They look over, and there's a moment, and then him giving a blow line, being like, well, maybe you know, you don't need to make this blank movie.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a funny punchline and that's it.
Yeah. Hopefully that is funny on the day when we write it.
Well, maybe you guys should listen to the rest of the episode to
Maybe.
find out.
Stick around.
To find out if we've come up with a funny. That's a lot of pressure now, dude.
Yeah.
I am very worried now.
I'm trying to think to kind of color it in. Like, what are some tropes of casting? And I guess it's just like a lot of talking about looks. It's a lot of like slicing the onion so fucking thin.
Likeable? Is he likeable on screen?
Like, did he bring something new to the table?
I mean, a lot of superficial shit, right? Like, he doesn't have a good walk. When he walked in, like, there's a lot of walking in this film.
He walks on his tippy toes. Yeah.
There's a lot of walking in this film. Like, it's a weird thing to worry about, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of walking in this film, guys.
And it's just the sideburns. Do you think he'd lose the sideburns? Like, you know, little things like that. Can we ask his agent if he'll shave? Yeah. And like there could be lots of those little things. But
they could also
like he'll shave.
Well, it could look at the back of the headshot. If you don't want to do the like leave the room in an email or whatever, it's like you look at the back of the headshot, it's like, no, it says right here he does not shave his sideburns. Like he has it on his resume that he will not configure his face in any way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you could just have like they're just hard to work with these actors as well. Like it's a back and forth thing.
That's funny. I like that.
His walk, shave,
the snacks. There's like snacks, but you're not supposed to eat. I mean, it would be incredibly disrespectful. Because maybe like we could.
Was he chewing gum in the thing? Like that could be a thing.
Yeah, well, like just as you behind the table watching the audition, like to be eating while someone's auditioning.
But how do you talk about? Oh, they talk to each other, like being like, well, maybe he was distracted because he kept fucking eating snacks.
Yeah, maybe if you weren't shoving your face full of Toroni.
That's when they turn on each other, right?
Yeah,
they're like, I don't know what we're talking about. Empty your pockets right now, and he's like more packets of like whatever the belches or whatever.
And then the overarching thing. Sorry, I'm jumping around now, but the overarching thing is we need a decision by 3 p.m.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then sorry, I thought of something else really funny. Not funny, but like just another beat for like what you expect. And lost it. His he has intense eye contact.
There's
something else, man. What was it? I was gonna say something.
Nervous tics. I'm just trying to like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the bad casting sessions I've been around, but like it's all just so hyper specific.
I was gonna say, that's what it was. It's kind of like bad and objectifying it's shit that comes out, but it's superficial, right? Casting a lot. So what if it's like, I think he's the one. He's like, have you guys seen his headshots from last year? And they pull it up, and he's like 30 pounds heavier last year. And he's like, what if he goes back to this? Like they're very like. You know, what if like he goes back? Like we can't control his weight. You can ask him. We can't ask him because they're like we can't ask him. Yeah, they're like very like you know, like they're trying to be as if like it's very like impolite to ask, but they're totally want to ask. So it's like they have that shitty side. And it's like what happens if he doesn't gain it? We can't ask him to lose the weight because then we'll get flagged. Or like there'll be an article on us. Yeah, and they're like just kind of and that's like a nasty thing to put in.
Another question that always gets asked too, like, can we age them up a little bit? Like, can we like comb in a bit of gray? Just age them up. They look a little young because a lot of times too, like older actors might have started later in their lives and don't have as much experience as younger actors. And then you want to cast a 60-year-old man, but you're like, there's only this 50-year-old guy who's really good, but the 60-year-old guy sucks. So we have to age him up.
Well, what if that's one of the differentiating obvious factors between the two leads? It's like the role is for a 40-year-old man. The one he wants, it's the opposite of a bit of what you're saying, but it's like the producer likes a 20-year-old. Right?
Yeah.
And the other actor's 40. He's great.
We can age him up. Do you see The Irishman? It's just that, but in reverse.
Yeah. And he's like really, again, lobbying for the shitty, like the bad choice, but also saying the bad choice is age him up. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, man. Like how bad do you, because it's really showing how desperate the producer is.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be like a wild choice. But I think there needs to be enough. Like, why are they only looking at these two? You know, like to justify.
This is a callback. This is like the screen test or whatever.
But there's only 2 people.
That happens though when there's like they've done 3 rounds of auditioning already, and now it's like screen test. You come in, you do like this whole thing, like you know what I mean.
For a screen test, you wouldn't be fighting for who gets what role. You'd be auditioning them like a chemistry read or whatever. You know,
maybe they did do it again. I get what you mean because I'm trying to think like for example, whenever they talk about like Guardians or other shit, it's like there were 30 actors that started out, but by the end it was like just Chris Pratt and Glenn Howerton, and it's like what was that process like when there was only 2 guys left?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just thinking like that, like just to, for the sake of the story, it's like they've done auditions a bunch of times, and that's the thing. They decide. How about this? They decided on the obvious choice already, almost, and the producer was like, one more time, let's bring them both back in. You know what I mean? It could be like a final push from the studio or from the producer.
Yeah. Because we have to justify why the camera person's there, or we just have a PA.
Wait, why can't the camera person be there?
Well, like, cause I don't know, like they have to be just freshly done the auditions, so they're still in the room delivering.
Yeah, this is like their 4th round, which gets annoying for like the whole process, right? So it's like their 4th round. They should have been done by now, or 5th round, whatever the fuck.
Or like the director has made his choice, and the producer's like, I need you to see a ringer.
Yeah.
And the director's like, okay, we'll bring in both.
Yeah.
So we have like fresh eyes on both of them. And that's the thing. Like, it could be called The Ringer. The movie could be called The Ringer.
Yeah. I'm all for, I mean, I agree with everything.
I don't know why I was like trying to make you laugh by saying that. So I'm just waiting from like, where's the laughter coming? It could be called The Ringer. And I just sat there in silence.
And I just went past
seconds.
it. You're like, I think you missed a turn back there.
Did you read that sign? It wasn't funny. Yeah, like he could have done that. So it's just like a head to head.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what the camera guy's there, because they want producers like, I want to submit him to the studio again, blah blah. And it's like, yeah, to me it's that's all backstory that could come out in one line of dialogue. But I think it's more about just like, again, I don't think that's too important to get hung up on.
Right. Okay.
Why is it only 2?
So the director wants the obvious choice. The producer wants the
younger,
nepo, less talented. The writer
is blackmailed by the producer.
Is blackmailed. The session runner doesn't care.
No, well, I know.
Let's call camera person.
Session runner cares, and
Session
he says
runner
the obvious choice. He's on the director's side.
Obvious, and then the camera person, but also maybe the session runner wants to get the fuck out. Also wants to get the fuck.
But then
out.
He would just vote with the producer and be like, "Okay, we win. Let's go." But I feel like you.
Well, I think like that could be a moment of like, they're like, you know what? Fine, I vote for this guy. I want to go the fuck home. And it's like the director's like, do you want to be known for a shit like being the casting?
He walks him back.
Let's call them the casting director.
Yeah, okay. Like he walks him back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Oh, so we don't need to do flashbacks, because when you're deliberating in the casting session, you're like, can we just pull up his tape real quick?
Yeah.
So you could just
literally that. Yeah. So you're technically still a bottle episode.
Still
yeah,
a bottle
exactly.
episode. So we don't need to go flashbacks. So camera person, indifferent till the end, and they provide there could be funny stuff like you see the bad choice do something. It could be called The Bad Choice too. Thank you. You could see the bad choice do something weird, like non sequitur, and then be like, no, it's a little bit further than that. So you just get these weird pieces of shit. And like,
that's funny.
You could mine a lot of comedy there.
Yeah, it's funny.
They provide the blow line and final choice. And
so here's the thing, just one thing to point out that we need to make sure we put the scene in. Because the writer, I'm guessing, unless you want to do a flashback and the director never finds out why the writer is being shitty because of blackmail. Like there's one.
The producer, you mean?
No, but the writer is being shitty in the terms of like, sorry, he's picking the wrong choice because he's being blackmailed by the producer. So is it a flashback that does that? Right? That's one way. If it's not, and the writer confesses, then what happens? Because then it's like, and then if the writer's like, I'm not going to change my vote, then we have to have a scene where the director's like, all right, well, screw this. It's still a democracy. So we need a fifth vote. Like he's still not budging.
Oh, he when you said democracy before, I thought you said this isn't a democracy.
No, it has to be a democracy, because otherwise it's like, fuck that. Producer makes a decision. Like it has to be a democracy. I think that's what the platform has to be set up, is like, it has to be.
So my call sheet joke doesn't land as hard.
Well, I was going to say you have to reverse that call sheet joke. It's like, it is alphabetical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean though? Like we need a scene. Okay, first of all, let's decide this. Writer being blackmailed because his first film was so shit and the producer found it. Is that a flashback, or is that he confesses? For the sake of the bottle episode?
Well, I think, yeah, you could delay that reveal. Like we can use the writer as this very reluctant agreeant to the bad choice.
Yeah.
And then it comes out at the end, and it's like, sorry, I have to stick to my guns because like
Yeah.
Charles will fuck me over.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then the director's like, okay, fine, we need what do you think, camera person? And then
Yeah.
that's what drives them to.
I mean, yeah, but and I know you don't mean that literally, but the way to do that would be like, fuck, the director being like, fuck, well then we're stuck here because we have no way. We're not even in the studio. We're still 2 and 2. We need a fifth, or we need an impartial judge to decide this. And then you hear,
yeah.
you really set that whole moment up.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah, and I think we don't need too much. Like, we can get like, we have so many cool, like not cool, but like good beats in terms of like watching the tapes, arguing this side, that side, the blackmailing story, the nepotism story, that we can just kind of, we shouldn't hang on a moment for too long.
Yeah.
This could be a 6-7 pages, but done very efficiently.
Yeah, hopefully we can.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think we need to like add a bunch of like it's like boom beat platform, boom beat. The producer is nepotism.
Yeah.
Boom beat, writers blackmailed. Boom beat, let's watch the tapes back. Boom beat, camera guy.
Yeah. And the producer less talented because the financing of the movie.
But okay, this is my one concern about the financing. If the producer says that, why would the director not agree? Then the director's like, okay, let's not make this movie because we don't get financing. Like, that's why I feel like it's too much of a stake, because the director would be like, well, I'd rather make a movie than not make a movie.
Right. And
That's why it's nepotism, I think.
also then who are they answering to that? Because if they'd have to answer to someone, so that
I'd say
person
nepotism.
obviously just, okay.
I think producer's like trying to,
Or
he could be a dirtbag. He's like trying to get,
well, maybe someone's blackmailing the producer, which forces them to blackmail the writer. You know what I mean? Like, there could be a funny thing in there. We can figure that out as we vomit through it.
I think nepotism personally, because blackmailing
like,
twice kind of makes it like
the stakes of nepotism are far lower than the stakes of
that's what I'm trying to say. It's like psychologically,
wife's gonna leave him if
we make the stakes really high. Then it's like, wow, like that's the thing, right? Nepotism can be looked at as like that's all it is, but it's like this guy's, or he's a dirtbag where he's trying to get back with this wife even though he's a piece of shit to her, but there's the only way. Or like we can really kind of make the producer more than just 2-dimensional, being like he's my nephew, because if we make the nepotism stakes really high, you know what I mean? Or like, I won't be, my family, like, I don't know what it is right now. The bad idea is like, my family will disown me if I don't get my sister's son on it. I won't be invited to Thanksgiving anymore.
I've got a DUI. I'm up for DUI, and the officer will toss it if I cast his son in the movie or whatever.
Oh, nepotism like that? Interesting. Yeah. Okay, I like that too, yeah.
Okay, sweet. I think we can start doing
I think we're in a pretty good place.
Yeah, all right.
I really like this idea.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Or it could not be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find out.
People falling out the window. And now, Chunk. Interior casting office day. We see a casting tape of a gorgeous man, Brock Dormand, 40s, looking into the camera. He smiles handsomely. My name is Brock Dormand, 6'4", auditioning for the role of Brock. And these are my hands. Brock flashes his well-sculpted hands. Cut to another tape of a painfully average man, Paul Chünk, 20s. He looks nervously into the camera.
My name is Paul Chünk. The U has an umlaut. I'm 5'5", auditioning for the role of Brock, and what else?
The voice of the cameraman off screen.
Just show us your hands.
Paul holds up a pair of massive hands. They are hideous. Cut to title card. Chunk. Fade in. Interior casting office later. 2 headshots of the aforementioned actors are placed on a table. Brock looks like $1 million, while Paul looks like he just got out of bed. Cut wide to reveal the creative team. The director, male, 30s. The producer, male, 40s. The writer, male, 30s. And the casting director, female, 50s. The cameraman, male, 20s, sits quietly in the corner. The director places a red poker chip above Brock's photo. Brock is still my top choice. There's really no discussion to be had. The producer cuts him off.
You're wrong. Paul's got the it factor.
He places a black poker chip above Paul's photo. My mind is wide open. So wide that both of Paul's freakishly big hands could fit in there.
They're not that freakish.
The casting director chimes in.
I've been doing this for 25 years and I've never seen hands so big.
Big hands for a big star. Christian Bale, giant mitts. Jason Momoa. Have you seen him hold a Coke can? And lest we forget, Zach Galifianakis, biggest slappers I've ever seen.
The director throws his pen across the room. Why are we talking about hands when we have to make a decision in 10 minutes?
You brought up his hands. I think they give him a je ne sais quoi.
Well, he's not going to be in my movie.
Good thing this is not a dictatorship then. Majority vote wins.
Never have I been more jealous of Soviet Russia. The director looks over at the casting director, who places a blue chip on Brock. Okay, I take that back. God bless America.
Not so fast. We have another vote left.
They all look at the writer, deep in thought. Well, I know where his vote's going. The writer picks up his green chip, rolls it across his fingers, then slowly places it above Paul's headshot. The director flicks a green chip off the photo. What the fuck are you doing? The producer moves it back in place.
God bless America indeed.
You can't be serious. The writer speaks in a timid voice. I just think Paul will bring a sense of vulnerability to the role.
I agree.
Okay, there's vulnerability, then there's a complete lack of confidence and charisma.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais, go fuck yourself, dude. You've lost your mind. Do you think that it's a mistake that the main character is named Brock and Brock is my first choice? A beat of silence. The director turns to the writer, pleading. Dude, remember when we first wrote the climax where Brock breaks down and confesses to his mom right before the airplane crashes? The writer sighs. A spineless schmuck like Paul will bring nothing to that. We spent 2 years on this project. This is our chance to do it justice. Let's not ruin it by putting a name like Chunk on the poster. The producer interjects.
It's Chunk.
The director screams, it's bullshit! The writer reluctantly reaches for his green poker chip, but the producer coughs.
Death Lantern.
The writer releases the chip. He breaks down. Fuck. The director looks over to the producer. Did you say Death Lantern?
It's possible.
Is there a carbon monoxide leak in here, or is someone going to tell me what the fuck Death Lantern is? It's my first film. I thought I scrubbed it from the internet, but our friend here found a copy in a cold email I sent out to the production company back in the day. So? It's bad.
It's so fucking bad. It would be a shame if it got leaked to the public when your career is about to take off.
The director scoffs. God, Jesus Christ, we've all made bad films. Not Death Lantern bad. It stars Tommy Lee Jones as an Indian cab driver. What I'm getting from this is that you're okay with making a new bad film so long as your old bad film never sees the light of day? I'll do anything it takes. The producer chuckles.
I guess we're at a stalemate.
The director pounds the table and points his finger brazenly at the producer. What is your play here? Why do I feel like you've set a trap for me?
There's no trap. I simply think that Paul Chunk is the right choice.
It's fucking Chunk. People will only see Chunk.
There's an umlaut.
No one knows what that is. A long beat of silence. The casting director breaks it.
What else do you like about Mr. Chunk?
Well, like I said, he has a je ne sais.
The director stands up and charges the producer. They run around the room for a minute until the producer is finally cornered. The director spots his pen on the ground, picks it up, and holds it like a knife.
You're gonna kill me?
Unlike you, I'm willing to risk everything for a good film. A silent standoff. The director cocks his hand back and goes in for a stab, stopping just inches from the producer's face.
Okay, fine. I need Paul to star in this movie.
Why?
Because I'm in trouble. A lot of trouble with the law.
The writer perks up. Oh my God, did you hit a child with a car and now, to avenge his death, his mother is forcing you to cast Paul Chunk in this movie?
No, much worse.
A dramatic pause.
Chunk's dad's a judge.
The director exclaims, so you admit it, it's Chunk! The writer cuts him off. And he's gonna sentence you to life for running someone over with your car unless you cast his boy toy lover, which is Paul.
Ew, what the heck, no. What's wrong with you? I just said the judge was his dad.
Death Lantern is making a lot more sense now. The producer sighs in defeat.
I have unpaid parking tickets that the judge will remove from my record if I cast his son.
The director is baffled. You're gonna sabotage our film over parking tickets?
It's a lot of parking tickets, dude.
The director is about to scream, but the casting director cuts him off.
Guys, I hate to side coach these amazing performances, but the studio needs a decision in 2 minutes.
The producer plops down in a chair.
I'm sorry, fellas, but I will not remove my chip. And neither will Mr. Shakespeare over here.
The writer hangs his head. Well, then we're fucked, aren't we?
We need an impartial fifth vote.
They all stare at each other. Then, in their silence, they hear the quiet sounds of a game being played on a phone. The team turn their heads one by one toward the cameraman, sitting quietly in the corner on his phone. The director smiles, and the producer gets up hastily. The writer has a worried expression over his face. The casting director speaks up.
All right, Jimmy, time to shine. What do you think?
They toss Jimmy a purple chip. Jimmy looks down at the chip, then back at him.
Well, I think you
He points at the producer.
are a man who doesn't have his priorities straight. You
He points at the writer.
are an insecure artist who needs to get over that dog shit movie. You
To the casting director.
are my boss. You're great. Never change. But you
He points at the director.
are about to make a fatal career mistake.
The director leans forward. Excuse me?
Did any of you stop for a second and think, why you're making a movie called 9/11 and a half?
They all stare at him. Checkmate.
Finn.
Maybe would you rather? Would you rather play a game or would you rather write another script right now?
Let's play a game.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you rather? Okay. I'm trying to stay on the theme of this script. So, would you rather have? Okay, it's don't throw anyone under the bus, but would you rather have the best technical team and technical gear to make a film, the highest of high cameras,
Okay.
and the best of the best crew,
Mm-hmm.
but a very green and inexperienced actor?
Wait. Isn't it would you rather do the thing or have the most amazing actor and the shittiest crew? What's the right format? It's just like, would you rather?
Would you that? Yes or no? Yeah.
Like,
I forgot how to play the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start again.
Okay. Would you rather?
Let's play a game.
Okay. Would you rather have an excellent crew, excellent top of the line gear, right? Everything's top notch,
Mm-hmm.
but an inexperienced green actor who's having trouble performing,
Mm-hmm.
or would you rather have an actor who fucking nails every emotion you need and brings it, but you're shooting it, and not only are you shooting it on like lower quality equipment, but the crew is very green and inexperienced?
I think I would take the stronger actor over anything because, if you got a like strong technical
Yeah, I guess
crew and a bad actor, like the movie could be the most amazing looking thing ever, but your frame could look like dog shit as long as you can get good sound.
But what if sound? That's a good point. Yeah, but what if your framing is it's blurry?
I mean, I would be able to see if it's blurry, and then I would go and make it not blurry.
You can't.
I can't.
Play the game,
like
all right?
Super Union.
Yeah. You can't touch the camera. Like whoever the cameraman is has to do it in soft focus.
I would hope that the caliber of this actor would be visible through blurry soft focus stuff.
You'd rather have a blurry, amazing actor than a in focus shitty actor.
I'll take performance over technical any day. Yeah.
All right. What you ask me something?
No,
you play the game.
Okay. Would you rather cast 2 human-sized hands or 100 hand-sized humans?
Ooh, 100 human-sized, hand-sized humans, because then I can I could make a film about like it could be a sci-fi, and I could just make miniature models, and those little humans would just be in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go.
Sick. I could literally.
It'd be like downsizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly what it'd be. Like the actors, I could put them in. I could make Star Wars. I could make Harry Potter, whatever. Because like Hogwarts would be like a fucking little miniature on my desk, and I could just do it.
And it's like, it's way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Wow, I just lobbed that one in for you. That
was
one
really
wasn't
easy.
hard at all. Yeah.
Would you rather have a performance is both amazing, like this actor's brilliant.
Okay.
But would you rather have 4K crystal clear quality of picture, but bad sound, or blurry visual, immaculate sound?
Because I feel like I've seen so many fucking experimental movies throughout my film school career that, blurry footage doesn't matter, but good sound really matters.
Yes.
So
Okay. Cool,
I would take the good sound.
Okay, we're on the same page. I
Yeah.
feel the same way. It took me it was a hard way to learn that, or just like I didn't. If you asked me that when I started, I would never have said that. Like fuck that, I need fucking 4K, man. Fuck the sound. But dude, you could have like horrible picture, but as long as the sound is crystal clear, it's like makes a difference.
Yeah. Cool. Great.
All right.
Good game. Good game.
In conclusion,
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that bottle of film that we just shit out for you.
Yeah.
We went pretty heavy on the banter because it felt like you need to have bantery stuff.
I don't feel like we did. I think we did a right amount of banter. Like,
I'm
a hard judge with that.
It's mostly banter in the way that it needed to be. And
Yeah.
it needs to like fill out. There needs to be like snappy things and characters having opposing views and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I think the humor, like, again, like, it's hard to be non-biased, but I think it was like the right amount of humor too, because it's like, what the fuck else are you gonna do in a bottle episode, right? It's like all about like the relationships and the back and forths and the, you know.
Yeah, 100%. What did you like about it? Which will lead nicely into my next question.
I wonder what that is. I liked. It's, I don't know. It's so such a surface level answer, but I liked the fact that we made 12 Angry Men into a casting decision film. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we took Bottle Episode and did one of our favorite things, which is like, let's make a film about filmmaking. And I enjoyed that because I haven't thought of this idea. And I can see this being a very, not easy short film to make, but a short film that you could make. And I could see it being fun to make, you know? I don't know if it would be an award-winning, accolade-filled short film, but it would be entertaining.
Yeah, it'd be like a fun sketch kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
To show.
Yeah.
Or just like a short that, like, you see so many amazing shorts at festivals that, like, you know, wouldn't win a fucking Oscar, but like they're just like a really funny little scene, and they're well executed and they're well acted and shit.
Yeah.
So you're happy that we made something similar to a movie that you never saw, and I don't remember, 12 Angry Men.
Yes, I'm so happy about that.
It's an honor. It's an honor
to be even mentioned in the same sentence, it's in the same breath.
Yeah, it's just a real. Who thought we would have been here? What I liked about it? I think I just liked. Like, I really enjoy playing with the name Chunk and Chunk. The Chunk with an umlaut. It's just sense. Like just some chuddy dude with the last name Chunk. And like, it's just so obvious that he's not the right guy.
I know.
Judge, the son of Judge Chunk.
Yeah, I never thought of that. It's fucking the Chunk.
Please welcome to the stand, Robert Chunk.
Not to skip
All
ahead,
rise.
but just because you're bringing it up, who would you cast for Chunk?
Oh, I didn't actually fucking put names. I didn't put people in there for them. You know that guy from, I think we've talked about him before, from Road Trip? That weird, like...
Oh, I forget his name.
Just kind of has a long neck and a weird face.
I used to know his name. He's in Breaking Bad as well for an episode. I used to know his name, dude. He's actually a good actor.
DJ Qualls. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
Kind of a fun DJ name. I'm DJ Qualls.
You know what I would like to see, although I think yours is definitely more bang on, is young, like Happiness or like Boogie Nights Philip Seymour Hoffman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just like when he's like, you know, whenever he plays like the loser character, like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That's funny, and I could see him bringing some serious like weight to that very tiny role.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, least favorite thing. It's always gonna be this. I think this is just gonna be the running thing for this thing, even though we're like, yeah, we don't rewrite shit. We don't have time. We got to make short, succinct films in one afternoon. But like, who was that? You or me that you just did?
That was an amalgamation of both of us. That was the part of the Venn diagram
that was
of us that overlaps. Yeah, Jadeel.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. That was No Deal.
That's good. The second half. Oh my God, that is what it makes. Yeah. No Deal. Fuck, that's sick. No Deal Productions.
Yeah, I just felt like we got to the admission of guilt faster. Like if it was a longer movie, there would be like, okay, you know, I like there would be lots more back and forth and like hinting at the reason, and then never like just kind of getting there. But we just had to be like, yeah, I owe money for parking tickets.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I don't like about it, but it's a prison of our own design.
Yeah, I think we got to change this question then, because I'm like the same way. I'll be honest, I'm pretty content overall with this script. Like I think it does exactly what it needs to do. It's bottle, it's entertaining, it's got characters.
You were laughing over the whole recording.
Yeah, I couldn't stop myself from chuckling to him.
Hey, Beavis.
But that being said, it's like, yeah, of course, if we could add maybe a few more jokes, a few more a page or two of dialogue more or whatever, but that's why we got to change this question, because like, every time fucking this comes to it and we're like, oh, just better. I want to make it better. What do I not like about it? It's not good enough.
The constraints that we've laid out for ourselves are too debilitating. If you have an idea for another question that we could replace with that one, please email us.
Or what you guys would want to...
norewritespod@gmail.com.
norewritespod@gmail.com. Or what you guys would like to see in the recap? Because maybe it's not questions. Maybe there's something specific. You're like, guys, do this in your recap. Duh.
Yeah.
You know, because I think this segment we're still figuring out, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, what do you like? What do you not like?
18 episodes deep. Legal to drink. Still figuring it out. But that's the vibe of this pod.
That is usually when you start figuring life out, though, right? You have your first step, and you're like, whoa, everything I was taught is a lie, dude.
Yep. Okay.
That was my what's that guy's name in Finding Nemo? The turtle. Hey, little dude. Hey, little dude.
Yo, dude. No, I just went Australian again.
But yeah, I do think that's something we need to work on this podcast. It'll be more fun for this recap. When did it all come together for you?
When did it all come together? I think once we started talking about a casting room, we got off of the people falling out the window shit.
Yeah.
It's funny to think like where
it
it's
started?
like the visions in my head at the beginning and then where it went to.
The first 10 minutes of Blue Sky were like, we were down to do that. We were like pushing for that.
We were like, okay, that's the idea.
But no, I am pretty happy. I don't know where
Music
the casting
video,
thing
no
came
hotel.
from,
Yeah.
but I'm very happy that it came out.
Because we wanted to do something about film, maybe film
24-hour
related, but then
challenge,
like
48-hour challenge.
and then just like what's more of a thing. But
No, I'm pretty happy with it.
we also didn't get too deep in the like deplorable characterizations or like what people say about people in casting.
Yeah,
but
I'll be honest. I remember when we were writing it, I thought about it because I saw that we weren't doing it. I'm like, oh, I'll bring it up in a page or two because like let's just get this shit out because we were like in a zone, both of us. But then I've completely forgotten, and I had a feeling that was going to end up happening because that usually happens. Like, which I think that is the good thing about the Blue Sky segment, because if you were to do a rewrite of this, but we're not gonna because the podcast
Not
is
allowed.
called.
no rewrites.
But if you were, that Blue Sky section, those things would come back. Because the second draft,
Yeah.
we would be like,
It'd be like,
remember that joke we talked about in the Blue Sky where it's like, oh, the way he walks or his sideburns, or can
Let's
we age
talk
him
about
up?
more than his hands.
We didn't talk about
age him
anything
up.
like that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Damn.
So, but that's what the Blue Sky's for. That like, hey, there's all these ideas that the second draft, or by the time we make the final film, dude, that's where we didn't even cut to the tapes. We said we're gonna use that as a device
I
and
wish
cut
we
to
did
them
that.
doing.
Yeah,
It's
true.
just we get to a point where we're at page 6 and we're like, we can't add
we gotta
so many beats.
We gotta bring her home.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think about. I think we already talked about who you cast for Paul Chunk, but Brock Dormand's John Hamm for sure. Or like Ethan Hawke, or like some tall, rugged.
Ben Affleck, like very obvious kind of choice.
Yeah.
Who's the producer?
I had the way you were talking, you were like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. It kind of reminded me of like Holt from Brooklyn
rest in
Nine-Nine.
peace.
What's his name?
Andre Bergauer, something. I shouldn't butcher his name. The guy just passed away, man.
Look up his name and do his immortal soul justice. Or like Jordan Peele, you kind of did a Jordan Peele doing a deep, stiff man voice in a sketch for Key and Peele.
I kind of, who I also could kind of see, and I was not doing his voice at all, but Richard Kind?
Yes.
I love Richard Kind. I could see that because he's so good at being
petty.
He's so good at playing petty.
Yeah, and he would say the parking ticket line with tremendous sadness. I was thinking Michael Cera for the writer, just like diminutive, like quiet. And
just for kicks, Jonah Hill as a director.
Well, yeah, something like that. Or I was thinking, do you know who Richard Ayoade is? He's like a British guy.
Yeah.
Him, but
I can see that.
There's just something funny about him yelling and like the way that he's a bit stiff and he's kind of like, no, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But then like him chasing the producer around might be either really funny or just playing it like not really work. But
what's his? Because I haven't. What's his last name? How do you pronounce it?
Ayoade.
What if it's the writer's Richard Ayoade? Just because I could also see that, and the director's Taika Waititi. That'd be a fun combo.
That would be really cool. That would be so cool. And then I was thinking for the casting director who kind of got like brushed to the side, someone who could bring like a lot of funny nuance, but like without really straying beyond the lines, like Vanessa Bayer or Kate McKinnon or someone like that. Who's just like a supremely talented comedic actor who can take a couple lines and like bring it out. Yeah, Maya Rudolph. Maya Rudolph actually would be perfect.
Because there's just enough lines that she doesn't need more. She's so good at just like expressions and just like killing it with those 3 lines.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty fun.
Wouldn't need to age her up.
And the cameraman.
Cameraman. Oh, I didn't write that.
It could be a sick guest appearance, and I would pick. I know it's a little controversial.
Mark Hamill.
No, I'm picking. You said mid-20s. It's Mark Hamill, but it's like age him down with the backwards cap.
Yeah, just do the Lucasfilm like fucking.
Or no, you played the joke of it that he's obviously 60, but you put him in backwards cab, you shave him, and it's like he's trying to be young.
Yeah,
It's like he has a Star Wars like graphic tee. I'll also though, because this is a guy that would do it and I'd be down for it, is like Shia LaBeouf. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's just Shia LaBeouf in a cameo for like that one scene.
Yeah, or Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah. Pick
Just
a cameo
like-
for someone. Yeah.
Just the
Ryan
throwaway
Gosling,
role.
just cuz. I like that.
Sick. It's like Ryan Gosling's like, I'm camera. That's my job. I'm camera.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, I think
All
that
right.
covers everything.
That covers everything.
Episode 18.
Episode 18. Thanks for listening.
We'll be back.
Send us an email. Tell us that you're alive. And yeah, I'm gonna go do an improv show now.
Oh fuck, yeah, that's true. All right, guys.
All right, bye.
Peace. No Rewrites is produced by Adeel and Jono Hunter. Edited by Justin Stevenson. Sound designed by Aaron Harastovic. Some additional voices recorded by Katie Trudeau. And the stuff in between segments was recorded by Kevin Brown. If you have an idea for a prompt, email us at norewritespod@gmail.com or DM us at No Rewrites Podcast on Instagram. No Rewrites is an independent show, so please make sure to like and subscribe. And tell your friends. Thanks.